Hey everyone, it's Rachel here from Walk the Talk. How you doing? I just wanted to record a really quick video for you today to show you how I go about making my fermented milk drink, Kefir. So you've probably landed on this video if you have read the blog that I wrote about making Kefir and the reasons why we should all be considering making our own and also drinking it daily. But if you haven't read that blog, I'll link to it in the video as well. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to need to make kefir, to make your own kefir, is you need kefir grains. And so these are live organisms, so you need to make sure that your hygiene here, or your food hygiene when you're making kefir, is really top notch, because this is fermented milk at the end of the day, and if this goes wrong then it's not going to be too good. I store my kefir grains here in milk. As you can see, I haven't actually made kefir from this batch. I've just left it because I have enough. So I store the kefir in the milk. And as you can see, you probably think it looks a bit minging because it's kind of separated into curds and whey. So the grains are in here, they're alive. So they're in here. So I'm going to make my fresh kefir in a fresh jar. Use these Kilma jars because they're really cool. But first of all, the first thing I need to do is make sure that the jar is sterilised. So I'm just going to fill the jar up with boiling water, which I have prepared here. You probably can't see at the moment, but I'm just filling the jar up with boiling water, pouring the boiling water into the Kilma jar, just closing the lid so that the steam can kill off any of the bugs there. Okay, so a couple of things about kefir grains. They don't like to touch metal, so you need to make sure that you have a plastic colander or a plastic sieve. I like to use this one because it's just the perfect size, and you will be able to see my grains in a second. Kefir has a really distinctive smell about it that you get used to. Fermented milk, let's be honest, doesn't always smell great. So I'm just going to sieve through the curds and whey from the previous load of kefir that I made, because I'm just going to discard that. But you need to wash the grains in milk, yeah. So don't wash them in water, wash them in milk because they're alive and they like, they really like milk to feed from. So I have finished washing my grains, and as you can see, they look a little bit like cauliflower or brains, kefir brains, get it? Brains. Alright, so the last part of the puzzle when it comes to making kefir is to actually put it in some fresh milk. So I use this unhomogenised, rich and creamy full fat milk from Sainsbury's. It's delicious. It's from Jersey cows and it's just lovely. It's the type of milk that you get that's got the actual cream at the top, like in the olden days, the olden days when I was younger. So I'm going to pour my milk into my jar here. I'll probably use most of the milk actually, so I make enough to last me a while. So that is my milk in my little jar here, and all I'm going to do, right, dead simple, is I'm going to get my little kefir grains, which are alive and they love to ferment milk, they love to eat milk or the sugars in milk, and I'm going to pop them into my milk. And from there I'm going to grab just some kitchen towel. Really simple. Just make a nice little lid at the top here, and close that up. So that is a nice batch of kefir. So that is how simple it is to make kefir. So my batch over here I'll leave it for about 24 hours, sometimes I leave it for about 48 hours, depends on how strong you want it to be. My body is used to having kefir now, I have some every day, so I tend to leave it for 48 hours to ferment. Once you take the grains out, they've got to live in milk, so they have, even if you're not going to be making a fresh batch, make sure that you store them in milk. You can store them in milk for ages and ages, they'll live quite happily in there for weeks and weeks. and then when you're ready to use them again, a fresh batch of milk every single time. What I will say is, just because you are working with live cultures, you do need to be, you know, fairly careful with your food hygiene, with your kitchen hygiene. So make sure that you do sterilise the jars that you're using before you make it. And once you're finished, once this batch is finished, I will just strain out the grains, put it into a fresh jar, and I'll store it in the fridge where it will second ferment. So it will continue to ferment even when the grains are out. It tastes really nice, like yogurt really, a little bit more sour and a tiny little bit fizzy. But if you're not sure why I choose to drink kefir every day, or if you're not sure whether it's for you, then check out the blog that's attached to this video, and that will explain a lot more about why I drink it and why I think it's a good idea for everyone else to try it as well.